What is up, Handstand Army? I am so thrilled to have finally made this video. I'm going to show you in this tutorial how to take epic photos with this and one app. Let's get straight into it. For those who don't know me, my name is Jonathan and I am a hand balancing and movement coach. I also love taking photos, I'm making videos, and I regularly get asked, how do I take photos? Now, disclaimer, most of the photos I take on my social media are taken on the camera that I'm filming now, or my secondary camera. So the camera I'm filming on now is an A6500. The other camera I use is a Sony RX100 Mark IV, I think. But that being said, the first photo to break over 500 likes, I believe, on my social media was this photo, and then the first photo to get close to 1,000 was this photo, and they were both taken on a phone with the app that I'm going to introduce at the end of the video. So firstly, a few weeks ago I went out and met with my good friend Dan from Vanilla Bear. We went out and just took some photos, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me to show you how I take photos on my phone, the kind of the do's and the do nots, what you want to avoid and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to jump to that part first, and then we're going to come back to the living room to show you how I edit the photos. Let's go. So it is Tuesday, the 12th of January 2021, and it's national lockdown here in the United Kingdom. I am meeting up with Dan from Vanilla Bear, amazing guys, a production company here in Bristol. Oh, dropped my coffee. Oh no! Ah. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna clean it on? Yeah, that was less than ideal. I've got mud all over my hands and over my new bag, which isn't great. So as I was saying, meeting up with Dan from Vanilla Bear, who's one of the pair of the Bear, sick. They make amazing videos and their photography is also beautiful. But we're also going around looking for locations for a video we're making, because a lot of the work we do, we can't do from home. So we're being very strict with sticking to the guidelines, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what we find. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
Just outside.
Oh, mate. I thought you said two. I'm just sitting off from my home now.
Oh man, I completely forgot. I did say two. Okay, well, I'm going to hold tight here and I'll wait for you, but there's no rush. Yeah, so then, bye. So, got here early. Should probably do some handstands. Here.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. All right. Before we do it in the old. Let's talk about this, because Dan wanted to meet up last week, and I said it was too cold. It was just too cold, and then you just reminded me. What happened?
Was it 2 years ago? We went out and it was snowing.
One of the first times we've met.
Yeah, I think so.
And it was snowing, and you took this photo, which I think actually is like my proudest photo of like achievement.
Yeah.
Because
you had wellies on and you'd slip them off to do these.
I had to like take my shoes off, but telephone boxes are really slippy on top. So like I climbed up there with wet feet because I had to jump up from the snow, and it was wet and it's domed. And if I fell each side, it was like this thick of ice. And I just remember if I fell, I'm going to break my ankles if I fell that way. Fortunately, that side was like snowy grass, so it's fine.
It would have like a 10-foot drop on one side, I think.
Yeah, 10 foot on one side, then the other side it was more like, I don't know, like
angry dogs were around and stuff. Yeah, and it's quite dangerous.
Mate, knives. Proper Bristol, right? Okay, so just quickly, never take pictures of handstands in front of walls of graffiti because they just look rubbish, and you can't make out the handstand. You get lost in this kind of craziness. I'm going to quickly show you how I take photos on my phone using a very bad example, and then I'm going to show you how to do like a good photo later, right? Right, so I'm using the old shoe as a tripod trick. You're not really a circus artist unless you've used your shoe as a tripod. So I've got it marked up to roughly where I want it. I'm going to put it on a 10-second timer. There we go. I've got two cameras. I've got this one, which I think is a really cheap entry-level camera, which you could probably pick up now for about 250 quid, I would have thought, and that's the RX100 Mark IV, Sony RX100 Mark IV. In my bag, I've got my Sony A6500. I've got a 16mm Sigma lens, and I've also got a 30mm Sigma lens, and they're both beautiful lenses, and I actually think you don't need much more than that. But if you're looking to get started straight away, cheap camera, definitely go and check out the Sony RX100 Mark IV. I think you could probably even pick up a 2 or 3 for even cheaper. Alright people, so it's very important that when you come out for your photos or your filmmaking in the winter, you bring some coffee. Now this is instant coffee, which is less than ideal, but it's left over from what my wife had, which took it to work. But yeah, this is a must. Are you a big coffee drinker, Dan?
Yeah, except 12's my limit.
12's your limit? Yeah, right. I think I'm closing in on that. Right, back to it. Every time I try and do like a speaking section,
Yeah.
and I'm around anyone, there's always this really annoying noise in the background. Like that. They're just kids playing, aren't they? Yeah. Handstand photo. So, greens, we've got... Do a handstand photo. I'm wearing... Lord, give me patience, give me grace. Found a really beautiful location to do a handstand photo. So we've got the greens, and I'm wearing a blue top, so I think it's going to be a really nice complementary colour that's going to kind of go with the background. There's not too much noise or people in the background or objects, so I'm going to take a photo and see what it looks like, and then edit that one up.
Yep.
Right, so I think we're going to get the drones out, have a little play now. I crash my drone all the time. I've crashed my drone like 4 times. I shouldn't be allowed to fly it. So we're going to try it in a big wide open space. Look at that! Whoa, perfect. Now I'm going to get mine up, so I've got the DJI Spark, a nice beautiful blue colour. Really nice, affordable drone, really easy to put into your bag. And yeah, can't recommend it enough. Right. Let's give it a little fly. Right, so my battery's insufficient, so I can't fly my drone. So let's cut to Daniel's footage.
You have to hold your drone now and run around the field and go.
No, I'm still filming. There we go.
Hit record, mate.
Whoa.
You can get some footage of that.
Ouch! Chop my fingers off! That was meant to be such an epic shot!
Focus.
Brilliant, well, that was really fun getting my fingers almost chopped off by a drone. Cheers, mate. Thanks. I'm going to put Dan's details in the bio, so definitely go and check him out. His Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Really amazing stuff down at Vanilla. Really amazing stuff down at Vanilla Bear. Really amazing stuff down at Vanilla Bear. Really amazing stuff down at Vanilla Bear. So we're going to go back into the living room now, edit up those photos that we took earlier on my phone, and see how they look. Right, see you in a minute. Okay, great. So welcome back. So I've just got to point out really quickly, the photo that I took that I thought would be a great example turned out to be a rubbish example. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use another photo instead. But first, let's go over some of the common do nots that I see in handstand and free running photography. So the first one is this, just in front of walls of graffiti. Okay, so the subject, me, has been completely lost with the kind of the crazy surroundings, all those colors. As you can see at the top, we've got that telegraph pole and the wires going across, cutting through the handstand. You can make out the legs, but that's really about it. There's just too much going on. With these photos, you want to keep them really simple, really clear backgrounds, nothing that's competing with the viewer's attention, okay? You want them to see the handstand. Bam, that's what you're selling. Your handstand, your movement practice, your IDO portals, all that stuff. You just want to get straight to the point. Brings me on to this one. There's another handstand one against the wall of graffiti. Just looks awful. Like, where am I? It's not as bad as this one. Look, just, where am I? It's like, where's Wally? Like, oh, is he there? Oh, yeah, there he is. Just make sure the colors you're wearing kind of match with the background a little bit, or kind of give it a nice contrast, or make sure that there's not too much in the background that's kind of competing for the viewer's attention. People on social media are just scrolling. They just want it to hit them in the face. You just got to give it them very easily. It's slightly different on my mobile phone to how I do it on my laptop, okay? I use the same app, but on my laptop, as you can see here, I use something called presets. Now, these are like filters that you get on Instagram, but they're just slightly better quality. They're made for high-res photos, and they just give it that kind of professional look. On my phone, I don't do the same thing. I don't put on presets. Now, you can get presets for this app, but that isn't what I do. What I simply do is I just bring the photo into the app, and then I just go through the color corrections, nice and basic, nothing too crazy, and then I just fine tune it to kind of get the results that I want, okay? Now it brings us around to the most important part of this video. What app do I use to edit my photos on? That was awful. I use the app by Adobe called Lightroom. Now Lightroom is a subscription-based app. It's about $9.99 a month, and I really recommend that if you're a professional circus artist, free runner, all that kind of stuff, you really invest in this, because it just seems to be better than the other apps that I'm seeing around at the moment. There's so much you can do with it, and if you are a professional, then $9.99 a month really is something you should be investing in. Okay, it's not loads of money, and like I said, this is just I don't even know what model iPhone this is.
Hi.
You alright?
Hello, you're on Brandon Hill with Liz.
Oh,
Say
hi Liz.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? Just
Yes.
quickly, what iPhone do I have?
What iPhone?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know things like that.
Thanks.
What? No, wait. Actually, when things connect on hotspot or anything, they usually describe the phone.
Alright, I'll have a look. Thank you, babe.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Right, so yeah, I don't know what phone I've got. I've really got no idea, but it's an iPhone. So as long as you've got a camera that takes more than 8-bit photo, you're gonna be fine, all right? What I do recommend is if you download the Lightroom app on your phone, the camera built into the app is way better for editing photos. Now, I don't know what they've done to it, but it's way better for editing photos than just my standard iPhone cameras. Right, so I'm just going to show you how I edit on Lightroom very quickly. Okay, I'm not going to go into it super in depth because there's so much that we can go into. So I'm going to open up the app, and as you can see, this is the photo that I have to start with. This was the photo that I intended to use for this tutorial last year. That's how long this tutorial has been in the making. As you can see at the bottom, I've got all these options, and we're just going to start very simply. We'll go from the start. I'm going to go to crop, and as you can see, I like to take my photos from low down pointing up because I think it's quite a fun angle. It's a bit different to what you see in a lot of Instagram photos. And also, I use my shoe as a tripod, so it's not like I get much choice. I'm going to zoom in. Going to keep me in the center a bit more. Now, as you can see, it's slightly lopsided, so I'm just going to bring that in it like that. Like that. Lovely. Then I'm going to click on light. I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit, a tiny bit of contrast, and then a bit of the shadows. Not too much. Don't go too crazy. Okay? Crazy is bad. Simple is good. As you can see here, curves, very, very important. I always play with my curves. Now, you don't want to do anything dramatic like that. That is awful. That is rubbish, okay? You want to create a very gentle S shape. Very gentle. There we go. See, hardly anything. I'm actually going to bring the shadows down a bit more, like that. Now, color, this is where it gets really fun. Now, the temperature is probably the only thing that I play with right now. I'm going to boost the rest of the colors up later, but at the moment, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Up makes it more summer, down makes it a bit more wintry. Okay, so I'm going to go in the middle there, and now I'm going to press this mix button. Now, this mix button is my jam. I love this button. I'm going to click this middle bit. At the bottom, you can see I've got three options. Hue is kind of the tone of the color. Saturation is how much of that color do I want. And the luminance is the brightness of that color. Do I want it brighter or darker? Now I'm going to start with the leaves at the top. I'm going to go straight to saturation. I'm going to put my finger on it, and I'm just going to go straight up. Look at that pop. Voila. Very nice. I'm going to change the tone of this color actually to a bit more of a sharper green like that. I'm going to go to saturation on my top, and I'm just going to pump it up. Not too much, get a bit more of that area. I'm going to click on my jeans up. Now I want my jeans to contrast the green a bit more, so I'm just going to change the luminance on the trees a little bit. Voila, I'm very happy with that. And then I'm going to go over quickly to effects. I'm going to bring the texture up. Now, texture is kind of more detailed. It's the kind of thing that you see on Instagram with all these guys with huge popping abs, and they've just added the texture up. They've just gone, you're right, look at all that detail and the clarity. No, not good for abs, but good for handstands because you want to bring the detail out in your clothes. Okay, so I'm going to bring the detail up a bit more. There we go. And now I'm going to bring the vignette up. Now, vignette is really helpful because it kind of brings a darkness around the outside of the picture. Straight away brings the focus onto the subject, and that's what you want people to see. You want people to see the subject, i.e. you, straight away. So up there, I'm just going to play with the feathering of said vignette to make sure it's not too extreme. I'm going to bump it up a bit more. That is great. I'm going to go to there, bring up the sharpness. Voila! So there we go. We've gone from this to this with one app, and that's all you need. Your phone, Lightroom, and then you're sorted. Now, obviously, I go into a lot more detail when I'm taking my own photos and I'm not making a tutorial. I really spend time playing with the highlights, the angles. Now, the most important thing, obviously, with all this is that you have fun while taking these photos. It can be frustrating when there are people stood in the background or they're in your spot where you want to do a handstand or a flip or anything. But just remember that social media isn't the meaning of life. Now there we go, that's how I edit my photos using Lightroom and my mobile phone. And it's just really important that you have fun with this. Just go out and explore, see what works, see what doesn't work. Some of you are going to have a completely different way of doing it, and that is amazing. That's what people want. People want to see unique styles of photography. So obviously I've shown you kind of how I do it, but it's very important that you find your way of doing it. What works for you? What's your style? What's your unique selling point when people see your photos? What will make people go, that's such and such's handstand, that's this person's handstand. Try and really make sure that you find your own uniqueness and flavour while you're taking these photos. Please be sure to tag me in your photos when you upload them onto Instagram so I can have a look at them. I would love to see if this tutorial has helped you in any way. For those interested, I am planning on making a more in-detail tutorial on how I take photos on my proper cameras, and I'd also be given recommendations on what entry-level cameras I recommend for people who want to get started in photography that isn't going to break the bank. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe, press that little bell notification. That will let you know when I've got new videos coming out. And yeah, I'm really excited to get more videos out, more content. Let me know if you like it, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.